Hi everyone, welcome to Values. So today we're going to look at a company called Highpeak Energy. If you like oil, you'll probably like this company because not only are they producing today, they are aggressively expanding every quarter, and that kind of bodes very, very well in this space because oil has reached $100 per barrel, and it's really amazing pricing for these type of companies. Like this company in its fourth quarter was getting about $70 per barrel of oil. And they were doing fairly good. Imagine right now getting $100 per barrel of oil. So before we get there and talk about the stats on this company, closing share price today was $21.88, and the after hours is up 17%, which is amazing because there doesn't seem to be an announcement other than Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer has mentioned this company, and what do you know? It's gone up by so much. Like, that is the power of influence sometimes. But I always must stress, you must do your research. Like, for me, that's an indicator. When Cramer mentions a company, I will potentially look into it because it might sound interesting, particularly if it's in the right space. If oil's doing really well, like a rising tide lifts all boats. And that's kind of this situation here where, hey, oil is going up and it is doing fairly well. So, when he mentions a company that's in kind of that sector, you kind of want to pay attention. And what does Jim Cramer say? Cramer says, if you believe in oil, Highpeak Energy is an aggressive play that could pay off. So basically, why does he think this company is going to do really well? Because they are expanding aggressively. They're basically gone from like 2 drills to at Savia or 4 drills. So they're constantly increasing the amount of drills they have for oil, and their fourth quarter is a good example. So basically, fourth quarter volume was 14,881 barrels of oil per day. That's a ton of oil per day, and that's an increase of 81% compared to the third quarter of 2021. So get this, 2021 fourth quarter was 81% up from the third quarter. So in 3 months' time, they increased their production by 81%. So imagine how aggressive that is, and how, what the company might look going forward if they manage to do this. Like these guys are not slowing down either. They're actually acquiring quite a lot of acreage and continuing to expand their production of oil. So I think, and if we look at that sense, it's a really, really good sign of the company and heading in the right direction as well. So fourth quarter, they realized a price of $72 per barrel, a realized cash operating margin of $60 per barrel. So out of $72, that's a $60 operating margin, which is extremely, extremely good. And then basically, they increased liquidity to approximately $225 million by completing an October public stock offering. So, they've got the cash in the bank, which is also really, really good. During the first quarter of 2022, the company entered a series of agreements to acquire various crude oil and natural gas properties continuous to its flat top operating area, which in the aggregate consists of 9,500 net acres, associated estimate production of 2,500 barrels of oil per day, approximately 40 additional horizontal drilling locations, and more. So basically, they can drill more oil, and there's 40 extra locations they can also drill into as well. So that just bodes very, very well. Basically, in 2022, the development outlook, on average, they are kind of expecting to do 27 to 32,500 barrels of oil per day. So fourth quarter, 14,881, right? And then now we're jumping to 27,000 or to 32,000. Which is an amazing rate for on average, and then basically their lease costs is going to be about $5 per barrel, taxes about 4 to 5, and in general and administrative 1 to 5, basically just $1 to $1.50. Total cash cost is about $10 to $12. So overall, the cost is actually, relatively low for them. They managed to basically keep things, fairly, conservative in that sense. Even though they're in a situation where they're possibly going to realize some really, really good pricing for the oil. Mind you, they have already signed up some derivatives, which is basically contracts to Saudi oil at much lower pricing, so they won't realize $100 for every barrel. So yeah, in terms of as of March 7th, 2022, the company has hedged 2.95 million barrels of oil for 2022 and 8,000 barrels per day for 2023. I think that's that's 8,000 barrels of oil per day for 2022, and then they're realizing that at $71, and then basically 600,000 for 2023 at $66. So yeah, so basically for this year they've hedged about 8,000 barrels of oil at $71, which isn't too bad, but obviously it's a lost opportunity to get higher pricing, but it's also protects the downside if oil was to fall down any further. But at $100, they're in the clear. They're safe if they can get market pricing for the rest of it. So 27 to 32,000, to have 8,000 of it per day go at $71. That's okay. That's still really, really good. So yeah, I think overall the company is in a very, very good space where they're producing a lot of oil. They're getting some really, really good pricing out of it. And they also pay some dividends. In 2021, the directors approved a dividends of 2.5 cents per share, which isn't a lot in that sense, but it's still not too bad. But that's per quarter. In January 2022, they declared a 2.5 cent dividend, which is so 2.5 cents on both quarters, which in a year that amounts to 10 cents, which isn't a lot, but you're buying into a company that is basically going to be growing the amount of production as they go. So they're going from 14,000 barrels of oil per day to possibly 27 to 32,000 barrels of oil today, which is incredibly, incredibly good. Hence why the company looks quite exciting in that aspect, because they are producing a good amount of oil, and they continue to actively search for more situations where they can increase that. And I think you can't really go too wrong as long as the price of oil stays up. To be fair, they were doing really well at $70. So if anything above $70, I think they continue to do really, really well, which probably puts you in a really, really good situation, because the price of barrels of oils isn't likely to go down too much, especially not in the current environment. So let me know if you've got any questions or what you think of this company. Until then, good luck investing, everyone.